be like solving murders that I'm committing myself. He's holding the knife with the bloody thing. You get the girl who's basically like the ghost of the person that he killed.
Hearing those words now, it's as if David foreshadowed Celeste's fate all along. And now, as mourners gather for her funeral, David is finally breaking his silence, delivering a speech no one expected. From disturbing online posts to chilling moments caught on camera, what's being uncovered now will forever change how we see this tragedy. When the truth hit different, investigation uncovered some wild stuff. When investigators started digging deep into what really happened to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body got found chopped up in David's whip, they uncovered some straight-up disturbing evidence that had the whole industry shook. This wasn't just some random tragedy, fam. The deeper they dug, the more it became clear that this young cat, David Anthony Burke, better known as David, had been living a double life that was darker than any of his sad boy tracks could ever capture. The most spine-chilling part about this whole situation was how David's music seemed to be telling the story before it even went down. Bro was literally putting his future crimes in his bars, and everybody just thought it was artistic expression. But when you really break it down, this dude was documenting his moves in real time, and nobody peep game.
Now on to some truly creepy developments in the mysterious case of Celeste Rivas, the teenager whose dismembered body was found in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. Back in February, David released a music video for his song One More Dance. In it, he's seen covered in blood, dragging a body across the ground. He then dumps that body in, you guessed it, the trunk of a car. In light of the circumstances, the parallel is a disturbing coincidence, raising some eyebrows.
David's February 2025 music video for One More Dance literally showed him dragging a bloody body and tossing it in a car trunk, which is exactly how Celeste's remains ended up being discovered in his Tesla's front trunk 7 months later. My guy was playing both the killer and the victim in his own video. That's some sick, twisted foreshadowing if you ask me. But wait, it gets even more wild. During his 2025 Withered World tour, this dude was actually bringing real caskets on stage and having fans write letters to dead people. Bro was literally performing mock funerals while Celeste was probably already deceased. That timing ain't no coincidence. That's some calculated cold-blooded
People are also finding this disturbing that he tours with a casket. He brings a casket with him on tour, which artists do some creepy, weird shit like this all the time. Like, I'm Suicide Boys fans, they do weird shit, but oh man, with the context of all this is very, very, very bad.
Back in 2022, this cat went on record talking about some character he created called a Tommy. Some evil alter ego that would commit murders that he'd have to solve as a detective. Bro literally said he'd be solving murders that I'm committing myself. When you hear that now, knowing what we know, it hits completely different. That wasn't creative storytelling. That was a confession rap.
And I had the idea to kind of make this first music video introduce a character that I had been kind of ideating for a really long time. That's why you see him with the blindfold and the bloody shirt aesthetic and the bow tie. I'm really big into anime and I'm really big into manga. And I wanted to make my own manga series at one point, and I was writing a lot of poems and writing a lot of things for it. And a big part of that manga was an evil version of me named Tommy, which means pain in Japanese. And he wears this blindfold, and he's basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego. And the story of the manga went like I was a detective, and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as a detective. I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
The streets started buzzing when digital forensics uncovered some seriously incriminating evidence about what was really going on behind the scenes. Screenshots allegedly showed David posting about having a kid on the way with what investigators believe was Celeste's account. Now, people are saying that pregnancy might have been the motive. The girl was carrying his seed, and he couldn't let that information get out.
And in this alleged screenshot, David even claims that he and the deleted user have a kid on the way back in July of 2024, which people obviously speculate could be the very reason that she ended up losing her life.
What really got the community heated was finding out how deep this operation went. The Hollywood Hills crib where they found Celeste during one of her runaways was leased under his manager Josh Marshall's name at Intercope Records. Soon as the feds raided the spot, Marshall broke that $20,000 a month lease and bounced. That's some real suspicious behavior right there. Nobody drops a lease that expensive unless they got something serious to hide.
More to this post, we have just confirmed the house is being rented by Josh Marshall, David's manager at Interscope. David appeared on a lot of Twitch live streams, and this clip has been going around because the girl in it is wearing the same Gap hoodie as Celeste here.
The internet went absolutely ballistic when this story dropped. Social media became a battlefield where amateur detectives from the hood to the suburbs were pulling up receipts, analyzing evidence, and conducting their own investigations. The #Dice Force was trending everywhere with over 2 million mentions. And people weren't just expressing condolences, they were demanding bloods.
So singer David is in some hot water. Previously, it was reported a dismembered body was found in the trunk of his car while he was on tour. Today, the dead body was identified as a 15-year-old who's been missing since she was 13.
The reaction from David's fan base showed how divided people really were. You had some fans immediately cutting ties and calling for boycotts, but then you had others straight up victim blaming, saying Celeste brought it on herself with those fake IDs. That type of thinking is exactly why young girls from the struggle don't get the protection they deserve. Instead of holding the grown man accountable, they were finding ways to blame a child who was clearly being manipulated. Throughout this whole investigation, David stayed quiet as kept. His last social media post was September 5th, 2025, 3 days before Celeste's body got discovered. While his legal team probably told him to stay silent, that silence just made everything look more suspicious. The streets don't respect silence when a child is dead and you're the main suspect. Legal experts started breaking down why no arrest had happened yet, and it all came down to technicalities. The cause of death was still deferred because of how decomposed Celeste's remains were, making it hard for prosecutors to prove exactly how she died. But everybody in the streets knew what time it was.
Well, they're taking their time, Ashley, which is exactly what they should be doing. And there's a lot to untangle here, and it's important to remember he's presumed innocent, right? And we know, based on past history, there are juries in LA that will entertain absolutely insane defense theories.
The music industry's response was swift as hell. Intercope shut down all promotion. Major brands dropped him like he was hot, and collaborations got canceled faster than you could say lawsuit. But the speed of these responses made it seem like industry insiders knew something was up way before the public found out. What really had people in their feelings was finding out David was still online after the discovery, playing video games like nothing happened. Reports showed he was active on Fortnite even after Celeste's body was found, which showed a level of detachment that had everyone questioning his mental state.
And just yesterday, he was tracked on Fortnite playing several matches of the casual reload game mode on his account. So I don't know, it's like the guy's whole life could be at stake and he's out here just running Fortnite, like living freely. I mean, something about that just sits so wrong with me.
The evidence paints a picture of someone who wasn't just committing crimes. He was documenting them through his art, getting industry cosigns for his sickness, and maintaining his innocence while a child's family suffered. This case exposed how the entertainment industry can protect predators when there's money involved, and how young girls from certain backgrounds don't get the same protection as others. The shocking revelations were just the beginning of understanding how deep this rabbit hole really went. The digital paper trail. How this predator got caught slipping. When the feds started digging through David's digital footprint, they uncovered a systematic operation that had been running for years, targeting a vulnerable girl when she was just a kid. The evidence they pulled up painted a picture of calculated grooming that started when Celeste was barely out of elementary school, showing how predators really move in the digital age when they think nobody's watching. The big break came on September 17, 2025, when LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division ran up on that Hollywood Hills mansion with a search warrant. This wasn't no regular house search. They brought the whole squad, over 20 detectives and forensic specialists who spent 6-8 hours turning that place inside out like they were looking for Jimmy Hoffa.
We're told that the detectives went through the house. There was, with luminol, thinking that if whatever happened to Celeste, if she met her demise in the house, they wanted to see if there was any evidence of blood anywhere in the home. So they were using luminol around the house. They were checking drains to see if there's any, blood evidence or, blood or tissue that was in the drains there.
The warrant was thorough as hell, covering everything from digital devices to biological evidence. Investigators seized a whole arsenal of electronics, computers, laptops, phones, hard drives, and even David's PlayStation 5 that he used for his Twitch streams where he allegedly first got at Celeste. They also ran luminol tests throughout the crib, checking drains and looking for blood evidence that might show where the murder went down.
His manager's in on it. Would not be surprised if the manager was in charge of getting rid of the evidence, or he did it himself for David. Either way, he probably had some involved because the car was moved while he was on tour. The digital evidence they recovered was damning as hell. Screenshots from Discord allegedly showed David talking to someone named Celeste going back to 2022, when she was just 12 years old and he was 17. This wasn't some random encounter.
This was the beginning of a long-term grooming operation that followed the classic predator playbook. The pattern was textbook. Older guy with some clout slides into a young girl's DMs, makes her feel special and mature, then slowly escalates the relationship while isolating her from her support system. David used his growing fame and musical talent as bait, making Celeste...
And I think it's her, because she has a hoodie on and glasses almost to like kind of hide her identity a little bit. Like that's what that looks like in my opinion. But it's just a clip of the stream and they talk about, at some point, Jeffrey Epstein gets brought up, bro, and she says something about what's controversial about R-wording kids.
One of the most incriminating pieces of evidence was that leaked song Celeste Demo Unfin that had been floating around since December 2023. The track had some seriously inappropriate lyrics about someone named Celeste.
In one of his leaked songs, David sings about professing his love to someone named Celeste. The verses include, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed."
The timing of this track was wild suspicious. He recorded this when Celeste was only 13, basically documenting his obsession with a child through his music. The lyrics talked about physical intimacy and possession in ways that would be illegal as hell if they were about a minor, which they clearly were. But the really sick part was how sophisticated the cover-up operation was. TMZ reported that Celeste had multiple fake IDs that made her look like a 19-year-old college student, allowing her to get into age-restricted venues and travel with David without raising red flags. This wasn't just some teenage girl getting a fake ID for parties. This was a systematic deception designed to normalize an illegal relationship. The fake ID scheme was deep. She had driver's licenses, student IDs, the whole nine. This allowed her to move through adult spaces without anyone questioning why a grown man was with someone who looked so young. David's crew genuinely thought she was legal because the documentation backed up her story. Even more foul was evidence suggesting David was paying people to keep quiet about the real situation. Photos surfaced showing him in Lake Elsinore near Celeste's house handing out cash to local kids. While we can't prove exactly what those payments are for, the timing and location make it pretty clear he was buying silence about Celeste's true age and whereabouts.
This is another picture that's been going around for days. They're saying this is him paying off people to keep quiet about the situation. There's no solid evidence or confirmation that that's true. Like this could just be him meeting a fan, bro.
The timeline investigators put together showed how this relationship escalated over the years. It started around early 2022 when Celeste was 11, 12, and David was 16, 17 through Twitch and Discord platforms where he was building his online following. By 2023, he was writing obsessive songs about her. And by September 2024, they were getting mad.
Which is very interesting, something we found out, but she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said the letters SHHH ... and that was on her right index finger. Yes, he had the same one at least as of last September.
Those matching SH tattoos were particularly significant because Celeste was only 14 when she got hers. Under California law, minors need parental consent for tattoos. So, how did she get one without her family knowing that tattoo represented a level of commitment and shared identity that predators use to make their victims feel special and bonded to them? The investigation revealed that Celeste's runaway pattern wasn't random. It was directly connected to her relationship with David. Her first disappearance in February 2024 led police right to the Hollywood Hills property where David was staying. Instead of recognizing this as a red flag for grooming, authorities just brought her home and called it another runaway case. Neighbors from the Hollywood Hills spot gave crucial testimony about what they witnessed. Multiple people described seeing David and Celeste together regularly, acting like a couple and assuming she was around 18, 19 based on how she carried herself. They saw them doing regular couple stuff, loading groceries, holding hands, looking comfortable together. To them, it seemed normal, which shows how effective the deception was. One of the most disturbing pieces of evidence was a February 2024 Twitch stream that got deleted real quick, but was saved by viewers. In that clip, you can hear a female voice that investigators believe was Celeste making some concerning comments about inappropriate topics.
Some people are saying that's him covering his tracks because he has a girl with him that is underage next to him. But there's more context to the clip. Here's more context to that clip.
Media trained you.
Media trained you is what he just said, because she just said something about Jeffrey Epstein.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
They mute the mic.
Really good.
Okay,
it's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.